Yes, we are going to talk about branding today, one of my favorite topics. And honestly, these 3 branding mistakes that realtors make on social media are kind of crazy, especially number 2. Wait till you hear it. Now, let's dive into the content. But first, just a quick reminder, I am Amanda Fezalani, co-founder of Design for Agents, where we help real estate professionals close more deals by mastering your branding, marketing, and production strategies. Now, what exactly are these 3 branding mistakes that realtors make on social media? Well, number 1 is not realizing that your personal brand will help set you apart from other agents and brokers in your market, right? And this kind of ties into number 2, which I'll talk about in a minute, but you want to make sure that you actually grasp the importance of having your own personal brand, right? And I'm not talking about a logo or maybe some brand colors, or you went on Canva and you chose like 2 or 3 specific fonts that are going to be like your brand fonts, right? That's really fun and that's cool, but that is not the only thing that makes up your brand. You want to have a strong understanding of the type of client experience that you are trying to put out there, right? What are people saying at the dinner table after they've interacted with you and you're not around? That is what your brand is. So you want to make sure that you first understand that it's important to have a brand and what a brand actually is. Now, number 2, which I mentioned was going to be like, oh, right? Number 2 is that you don't want to use your brokerage's brand as sort of the forefront of your personal brand, right? I see this all the time where agents make the mistake of they get licensed, they enter this industry, and suddenly, I'll just use Remax. Suddenly they are a Remax agent. Everything is red and blue. Remax is all over everything. Their Instagram profile photo is the Remax logo. Their Facebook business page has the word Remax in it. Oh, please don't do that. You want to create your own thing. Now, obviously, every market area has different rules about where your brokerage's info, including the address, phone number, full business name, and all of that stuff needs to exist. Like if you're doing postcard marketing, and there's certain rules about social media posts and things like that. But bear in mind, follow those rules, but at the end of the day, like, that doesn't have to be your brand. You don't have to live and breathe KW or Compass or EXP or any of the other ones, right? You can still have your own brand while shouting out that you're working at that brokerage office, right? And so the idea here is that if you decide to make a switch, right? Let's say you go from EXP to Remax, or you go from Keller Williams to Compass, or vice versa, any of those out there, or a mom and pop shop that in your local town. You want to make sure that making that switch isn't going to seem like, oh, this big like detrimental move to your personal brand, right? Because that should not be the thing that holds you back. And in reality, I really wish that agents and brokers look at their brokerage as sort of a tool, right? The same way that you would easily switch the CRM that you're using, right? And you look at the benefits, the pros and cons list for each CRM, and you say like, oh, I'm gonna go with this one. You look at your brokerage the same way, right? Just because you're signed up for a certain CRM doesn't mean that you go making it your logo, right? That would be weird. So think about it kind of the same way. Number 3 is that you're going to want to avoid hiding from the camera. Now, this is 2023 or 2024, whenever you're watching this, and it's time to show up in front of the camera, no matter how uncomfortable it makes you. But if you are going to be on social media, then you've got to be in front of the camera. And it doesn't have to be video. It could just be photos. It could just be maybe you had one headshot session and there's like 6 great images in there, and you kind of like, use those interchangeably. But your face needs to be there. People need to know you and who you are and your name, and that is part of your brand. You are your brand. And so in order to do that, you've got to show your face, because at the end of the day, being in real estate is a people business, and you are a person, and you look like how you look, you sound like how you sound, and nothing's gonna change when someone meets you in person, right? They're gonna see you, they're gonna hear you, and that's who they're working with. That's who they're trusting their biggest investments with, you. And so showing up on camera should be something that you do with pride, you do with confidence, even if it feels icky at times, right? Like sometimes I feel icky on camera doing this, right? But it helps our business, and so we show up, and at the end of the day, we look like how we look and we sound like how we sound, and trust me, it's not as bad as you think. So if you enjoyed this video and you want more content like this, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and chime in the comments. Let us know what type of content you would like to see next. Now, if you haven't already, sign up for Marketing Mondays. The link is in the description below. It is an email that we send out every Monday that you will get chock full of content that will actually help you grow your business. It's actionable content. It'll be the best 8 minutes you spend on your Monday morning. I'll see you in the next video.